What's going on, guys? Ben with liftedimports.com here today. I wanted to just do a quick unboxing of this Badland winch from Harbor Freight. Now typically I would prefer to get something that is, I guess, a little bit more brand name, but I paid less than 140 bucks for this and it was in town. I was able to pick it right up, and it has more than enough power for what I'm going to need for my Subaru. But I didn't really know what was inside the box before I bought it. I didn't know if I was going to need like a winch plate or any wiring, because I couldn't really find any good info on the box telling me for sure whether or not it had everything in the box that I was going to need. So I want to open it up, show you guys what it does come with, and it actually does come with everything that you'll need. But maybe I just can't read, I don't know. Maybe it says it on the box and I just didn't see it. But I'm actually excited to get this pulled out and put on the Subaru hopefully today, and we'll see how it goes. I've actually not ever installed a winch on this car, so we'll see how that turns out. But let's go ahead and jump into it real quick. So here we go. Take a peek here. Oh fudge. Well, there went my receipt. All right, so you got your little strap for the for your hook. Obviously, you're gonna have your instructions, and then you also are gonna have a bunch of wiring here. Now, I don't know for sure what all this stuff is because I haven't even pulled any of this out yet, but part of this is gonna be your dash switch, so like an in-vehicle winch controller. This is actually really nice because if you're doing self recoveries, this will allow you to manage the winch while you're inside of the car. Typically I just carry the winch controller and wrap it around my mirror and keep it inside the vehicle, but this is actually a much better alternative in my opinion, so I like that. Looks like we got our decent gauge ground cable, and then in here you're gonna have more wiring. This stuff actually looks pretty clean. And then this was another thing that I didn't know if I was gonna need to buy or not, but you got your winch plate. So if you're wondering if you're gonna have to pick one of these up at the same time, it actually comes in the winch box, so you'll be set there. Then you're gonna have your hardware. These look like, so these are what you'll use to bolt it down to your bumper or whatever through the winch mount. Okay, then you're gonna have your fair lead, and I got the cable version. I didn't get synthetic. Out here, I feel like I'm always shredding synthetic rope cables or rope lines, and I don't know. I just figured, what the heck? I'll give a steel cable a shot. But here's the fair lead for that. You're also gonna have your controller, your like manual controller. So if you want to be outside of the vehicle and activate the winch, here it is. And then here's the hook that you'll eventually attach to the end of the cable. So you won't need to buy one of those. All right, and then it looks like, oh, this is cool. Okay, so we got our power cable here with a built-in circuit breaker. So that is, that's good news. That means I don't need to build one. Right on. And then just so you guys know, this makes my day, because when it comes to wiring, I'm the worst person ever with wiring. I just hate it. Okay, and then it looks like this is gonna be the port where you would plug the manual winch controller in, or it looks like this is the attachment for where you'll run the in-vehicle winch controller button. It'll plug in right there, and this stuff, I'm imagining it'll all make sense once I get into it, but it does come with this stuff. So here it is. Looks like we got some cable covers. This camera never focuses. Whatever, you guys know what these are. All right, and then I'm gonna guess this is like the solenoid. And of course, this actually comes with, it's like just this little tiny half-inch D-ring shackle. Here is the winch, itself, I talk a lot of trash about Harbor Freight stuff, but I think this winch is going to do just fine. So this blue and yellow cable, these are going to be wired up to the sides of the winch to control in and out functions. So that's what that is. All right, I'm gonna say just right out of the gate, I've been pretty impressed with these Badland winches, because a lot of the guys that I run trails with, they actually use these a lot. So I got a buddy with a, you know, massive LS swap 3rd gen 4Runner. He's running a Badland winch. It's like one of those 9,500 pound or whatever it is. He's running it. We got other buddies that are running Badland Apex winches. This isn't the Apex series, but I think it's still going to be really solid for getting a Subaru out of some minor pickles, if you will. Okay, now let's take a look at the free spool here and see. Oh, that's actually really smooth. You know, you've obviously got your threaded holes on the bottom, so that hardware that you received, this will just, you know, you'll have to drill holes in your bumper. So I'm going to use this as a template to drill my holes. I'll mark all my holes, drill them, and then that'll be that. Once it's all set up, this little winch plate right here, you're going to have your fair lead bolting to that, and you'll be all set, squared away. So yeah, overall thoughts, first impressions, I'm actually not mad about this at all. I would have never in a million years entrusted a Harbor Freight winch with my off-road recoveries, but I think after being on the trails enough times with other people that are running these, I feel pretty confident. And you know, I'm not really doing a whole lot of overlanding stuff, typically within walking distance of getting help. So if I really were to get stuck and this for some reason failed on me, I think I'd be okay. Now the other thing I think is cool is these are rated for mild water exposure, so it's like IP67 or whatever that designation is. This can handle some light moisture exposure. I probably wouldn't try to sink your car into a lake and then pull it out and use this, but just in general, this is going to be somewhat water resistant. So pretty happy about that. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and if you want to see some other winch options that are maybe a little bit more premium than this, I do have an article over on the website that you could check out that's got links to other winches, and I'll put a link to this in there as well so that you could find it if you really want it. Anywho, hope this helps somebody if you are on the fence about buying this and you just maybe wanted to know what's in the box before you go pick one up. You actually don't really need to buy anything else, so it's pretty comprehensive as far as I can tell so far. Maybe that'll change once I do install, but pretty pumped. Okay, so I've got the winch installed on my Subaru, and I just wanted to share a couple of things about this ZXR 5000. I think that this winch is very well suited for like a ATV or a UTV, but when you're installing it on a vehicle, there's a couple things to keep in mind. The wiring for the ignition switch. So there's like a small wire that comes off of the wiring harness where you plug in the manual controller and then the in-cab dash in and out controller. There's an ignition wire that's connected to that has to be extended if you're going to put it in a vehicle. What I did was I just ran it through the firewall into the cab. Basically, I wired it into this little fuse adapter that holds fuses, and then you plug it to the fuse block. That way you can control whether you're getting power if the key is on or off. So that has to be extended. And then the wires for the dash controller itself, I had to extend those as well. It really wasn't that hard. I just used butt connectors and heat shrink and just extended the 3 wires. But just something to keep in mind, because of the fact that these winches are specifically made for ATVs and UTVs, so you're going to be having to kind of adjust how the wiring is routed and whether or not you're going to have to extend some of the wiring. The other thing is the cables that attach to the terminals on the winch for the in and out control, the heavier gauge blue and yellow cables. Those are not very long. The way that this winch is designed, it's not designed to have the solenoid attached right to the winch. I actually had to attach mine behind the bumper in a safe spot. That will kind of limit wiring options for you. So just keep in mind, if you're going to buy this for a vehicle, you're going to have to kind of improvise just a little bit. It's not a big problem. I know the winches that are more automotive focused, like the Badland's Apex line, those are all made specifically to go on vehicles, and so the solenoid boxes and everything, those are made to fit like right on the winch, so you're not having to worry about where you're going to mount it and things like that. So just something else to keep in mind if you're going to be running this specific winch on your car. But overall, I am pretty happy with how it turned out.